Hey!
Hey, there we are.
Hey!
It's the Live Wires.
Yeah, I'm
We are
DR,
back.
Dave R Guitars. That guy over there, he's Brian S. We're the Live Wires. You guys
We
know
are
that.
the Live Wires. Welcome to the show. Welcome
Good
to the
evening,
show. Oh my goodness, you know what we're up to, Dave? We are up
This
to
is
a
number
dozen shows. You realize
12.
that's 3 months worth of shows?
It don't seem possible, man.
3 months?
Doesn't seem possible. 3 months.
How did that
It's been
happen?
fast.
How did that even happen?
I have no idea, but man, it's been fast. It's gone by like that.
It has. It has.
Let's see,
So what's new with
funny.
you, man?
Oh, not too much. Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like we do the show on Wednesday and we turn around and it's Wednesday again, man.
I know. we were scrambling a little bit this week because we were both
Yeah,
busy.
Yeah.
I was catching up from vacation, and you probably were too, because you didn't actually have a vacation, but you
No,
had
I-
vacationers at your house, so that kind of
I took vacation.
Oh, you
from work,
you were like,
so,
yeah.
So yeah, I was playing catch up too. So yeah, it's been kind of busy. So just like you said, last minute. I think we just finalized some things like a few hours ago. So
If you guys aren't
who are
aware,
those guys?
if you're not aware of what we were talking about last week, myself and Guitar Hack kind of made a little journey down to the Phoenix, Arizona area, Scottsdale, Mesa. Yeah, that's Guitar Hack there, and myself and Dr. Dave in the background, and that is Dane Zimmerman of Dane's or Zim's Guitars.
Guitar.
Yeah, which is in he's in Mesa, right? Is he in Mesa or Scottsdale? He's in Mesa.
He's in Mesa.
Yeah. So we went in there.
Barely in Mesa.
We went in there and hung out, and that was a good time. Then we went out to dinner with Lawrence Petros, and that was
Dane,
fun.
too.
Yeah, and
Dane
Dane too. Dane joined us after he closed the shop. He came and joined us, and then we went to a really, really weak guitar store. I won't mention the name, but the initials are
It was
GC.
Guitar Center in Mesa.
That thing was weak. And then we went back to Dave's house, which is fun. First off, he kind of lives a little bit off the beaten path. I think that's fair to say, right? Because it's literally a path through the Arizona desert to Dave's house, which is a really cool drive. It's really fun. And Dave's got a great house. Man, your morning sunrise is rough. That's the worst sunrise ever, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to watch, isn't it?
Obviously, I'm just teasing him because it's absolutely spectacular. His sunrise at his house is something you might want to see once in a lifetime if you don't live there. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's. I've seen it several mornings. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, well, you see it every morning. Your wife was up before you were, so I was up because the doggies were up, and I said, "Boy, Tricia, I just hate it for you that you have to look at this horrible sunrise every morning when you get out of bed." She's like, "Yeah, it's rough, right?" We had a good time. I really appreciated your hospitality. It was a total blast hanging with you guys, and just having Guitar Hack show up. You guys were trying to keep that a secret from me, and then that got out. And then we were trying to keep it a secret from everybody, and then that got out. So we're not very good at keeping secrets. Although we do have a secret because nobody knows who our guest is tonight. We have a good one. But before we do that, why don't you shout that chat out, brother?
Yeah, let's go. Well, let's see. I see Mr. Joe Hervey. Good evening to you, sir. Dave Stafford, my buddy. How you doing, Mr. Stafford? Hope you're doing well this evening. Guitar Hack. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Soda and milk. AKA soda, AKA Todd, AKA soda.
AKA soda and milk. Next week it'll be soda and chocolate milk.
Oh, let's see, Mr. Mitch Heyman. How you doing this evening, sir? Hope you're having
soda
a good week.
and bourbon.
There you go. Six String Brian's in the house. Jay Steen, Layla's Guitar Daddy. David Ennis. How you guys doing? I see a Mr. Brad Miller in the chat. Good evening to you, Brad. Hope Florida's well to you this evening. Terry Himes. Did I say Mozzie? Bam Mozzie.
You just did.
Mozzie across the pond. I just did. If I didn't say it earlier, how you doing tonight, brother?
I think Bam was first in. Bam was in.
Yeah.
Bam and Joe
Mozzie,
Hervey.
yeah.
Joe Hervey was in like an hour before we went live or something. He's like, I can't wait for the live hours. Thanks,
No,
thanks, Joe.
The first two went in that I see there is Mozzie and Jay Steen.
Oh, Jay Steen was in early too. Yeah, we were talking. See, Jay and I'm literally, he was walking into Gear Fest as I was getting in my truck to leave this year.
Okay.
He like texted me. He's like, hey, I'm here, dude. And I'm like, oh, dude, I'm leaving. So next year we definitely gotta hook up, and maybe you'll be there. Maybe.
And there's
Never know.
Janice Lala and
Hi, Janice.
Joe Palmer.
How's the Dan Electro working out for you, Janice? Last time I heard from you, you said you were still gigging with it, and everybody was thinking it was cool. It's a cool looking guitar.
There's Dry Heat 480
Hey, Dre Heat, what's up, dude?
or 480.
There's my pal Larry, Lars Guitars,
Lars
David
Guitar,
Ennis.
How you doing?
What's up, David?
Yeah. Phil Mosley.
The Count.
Janice says she's loving it. So
Sweet.
still.
Sweet.
Yeah, the count is in the building.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, I can't believe it's a
R2.
Count.
R2.
What
What's
up?
buddy?
What up?
And
Mitch Heyman, what up, bro? He just said hi to everybody we know in one
there's
freaking.
Melissa. Hey,
Oh, hi,
Melissa.
Melissa Blee. Man, she's killing it. She
Yeah,
sent me
she
a
is.
really nice, I got a really nice email. I didn't send her a guitar like you did, Dave, but I sent her a box of all kinds of stuff, like everything for parts, the guitar stands, and some straps, just miscellaneous junk I knew she's going to need, picks, that kind of stuff. And she told me there was this boy at school in the club that already had a kind of a beat up guitar, so she fixed it up for him, but she gave him one of the cool straps that I sent him, which he really liked, and that brightened him up. So she was like, yeah, you made the little kid's day, man. So I was like,
Yeah,
cool. That makes you feel, that kind of makes you feel a little bit good.
It sounds good, Dave. Melissa sent me a message and let me know about the guitar that I sent, and that it went to a kid, and the kid that it went to, he was like super excited,
All jazzed up.
bragging about it and this and that.
Oh, yeah.
Which that was just cool. I mean, I thought that was just super cool.
We were talking about that the other day. You were telling me, because I remember the guitar you sent him,
Yeah.
I was like, man, if I was a little kid, I'd be like telling everybody, check this guitar out too.
Yeah.
That's a good starter guitar there.
So
Little rocker dude.
I hope he gets as much enjoyment out of it as I did. As much enjoyment out of it playing it as I did building it. So,
Brad just asked a good question too. If anybody, Melissa, do you need anything else? Because we can always
good question.
we can always throw your link it back up in the description again. You know, if there's something else you need, let us
Absolutely.
know, and we'll see what we can do about hooking you up, girl. Because I think it's awesome what you're doing. I love the fact.
How the communities come together to pitch in and help. So
She
that's,
got her kind of start the same way I did, because I fooled around with like fixing up a guitar too, and I learned everything that I did basically. Well, I called you for some advice, but I learned everything else from Phil, and that's where she, watching Phil sharpen your axe.
Awesome.
Sharpen my axe videos, man,
Yeah,
are one of the main things that got me into YouTube. Really, that's totally true.
Melissa said that the guitar was officially titled the Galaxy guitar.
Oh, sweet! It's got a name.
It's got a name. Hey.
It's got
That's
a
cool.
name. All right, well,
More
dude,
than I
we've got a
get.
really cool guest tonight. How would you
we got
like to?
we got a couple other little things to do.
Okay.
Real quick.
All right, fire 'em.
So, just so you guys know, we've kind of changed our merch around a little bit, our merch stores around a little bit. The Teespring shop is only going to offer one T-shirt, and that's the like the print all over logo, and the everything else, T-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, hoodies, what have you, all that's going to be on the T-Chip store. So I will drop the links here. Any of those first run T-shirts on Teespring are no longer available. And here we go. So there's the two links. I did put a sticker in on the Teespring store. Again, just trying to
Dave?
make these things as cheap as I can. Yeah.
Hey, Dave, the Teespring store link is no longer any good. So I'm not sure when you edited the product, maybe we have a new.
That still should here. Let me see. Yeah, that's still a good link. Should be.
Okay.
Click that
The
link
one I
just
had.
posted in the chat.
The one you posted in the chat's good. Okay, good. The
Okay,
one I
should
had
be.
bookmarked.
Yeah, go ahead and check it for me if you would.
The one I had bookmarked just goes to our page, but it doesn't show any merchandise.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably because there's a new.
Yeah. So let me see what I get when I go here. Yeah, I got it there. That one works.
Okay.
So use
Okay.
that one, folks.
Yeah.
Use
And
that
then
one,
the-
folks.
Yeah. Then the T-chip. So the T-chip shirts are really good. They're still good, really good quality shirts, and they're cheaper. So that's why I decided that we would just stick with the T-chip for shirts mostly. I did like the all over print on Teespring, so I did leave that one up, and it's I've tried to make it as cheap as I can. It's so.
In fact, our good friend Mitch Heyman, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, got one of these hoodies and said he liked it so much because of the quality for $30 that he ordered a second one keep warm this winter. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get hooked up on the hoodie myself. And I need a beanie hat and a coffee mug, and
There you go.
so I found out tonight my
thank you
shirt's
so much.
limited. My shirt's limited edition.
So
Now
that-
you can't
he
get
has a
this one no
Teespring
more.
shirt. This is a T-chip shirt.
Yeah.
So these are the current. We got the white text on the back. So anyway, that
All
was
right.
most of the housekeeping. Most of the housekeeping that I had. Did you have anything else?
I'm ready to move on to guestage. I'm sure he's getting
let's-
tired of being in the green room. It's getting lonely in there.
Getting lonely in there. All right.
It's getting lonely.
Well, without further ado, we'll go ahead and introduce our next guest. Man from I believe he's in the Bay Area of Florida.
Yes.
Recently took to doing a few live shows. He had one last night, as a matter of fact. I missed the live show, but I did go back and watch the replay, and I have something special for him tonight. Let's go ahead and bring him out. That would be Mr. Brad Miller.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Brad Miller on the Live Wires.
Hey.
Oh, and I cover the guest face up with the banner.
Right. Thanks a lot.
Yet again.
Appreciate that.
Hey, Brad. Thanks
Hey.
for coming on, brother.
Everybody in the chat there.
Brad and I go back we got to be closer buddies back this summer because he was bending over backwards trying to help me get into Summer NAMM, which it worked out another way for me, but Brad had me hooked up. He had me taken care of. So I told Brad, if you ever need anything, bro, I got you back. Just let me know.
Well, I was trying, and then
You were trying.
I ended up with a more legit way to get in, and then I couldn't go. So
And then you didn't get to go at all.
yeah, now that's how that worked out.
Well, maybe next time we'll hook
Yeah.
up. What you
Well,
really need
that-
to do is come up here to Gear Fest next summer to Fort Wayne and hang out, because I think a whole bunch of us are going to just crash the place.
Right. Well, I was hoping to make it to Summer NAMM. It's a little more doable for me.
Closer.
It's a
Right.
little closer. Yeah. The airfare was cheap to get up there.
Yeah.
The hotel was the problem, but
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then of course my other half, she was a little bit leery of that. So
I stayed
blame
out
it
in
on-
the boonies.
Yeah. I blame it on my friend who I don't see here tonight. So Oregon Steve.
Oh, he'll probably be around.
He was not able to go, so I didn't have a running partner. So
Oh, that was your running mate. Well, you could have run
Yeah.
with us, brother. You could have run with us, because although we run hard.
yeah, I don't know
For-
how hard I can run anymore, but
Yeah, for our age, we do all right. Now we may pay a heavy
Boy,
price
hurt.
later on, but
Boy, it hurts the next couple of days.
All right,
Oh,
so
wait, is that a
already
guitar
said
hack? That's a guitar hack.
that is a
shirt.
guitar hack
that's
shirt.
the new logo.
That
That's
is
the
actually the original.
No, that's the
Oh,
old.
is that the?
That's the
that's
old.
the
Oh, that's the one I
logo.
have. Yeah. That's the one I have. Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got like is it black or maroon? I can't tell with your lighting.
It's maroon.
Maroon, cool. I haven't seen a maroon one. Nice.
Yeah, I like it. It's nice and soft, and it stayed in the dryer, which was okay because I've been shrinking, so it shrunk a little bit. So
I see Brian says, Six String Brian says he needs a pass for Winter Nam. Well, you got into Summer Nam. You got to just work that same angle, bro. You'll be all right. Your channel will be big enough by then. I don't know. LA's a little bit too far away for me, I think, to go when I can go to Gear Fest in Summer Nam. And I know it's not the same, but LA is far and expensive. There's no cheap flights to LA from
No.
anywhere that I'm aware of.
No, there's cheap flights. It's just.
Well, maybe
it's
from
just,
Phoenix there might be a cheap flight, but not from Ohio.
Well, I mean,
Chicago,
you could
maybe if I
probably go
drove to Chicago.
Chicago or Detroit, you could get some cheap flights, but it's not the flights that'll kill you, man. It's the hotels, it's the cab. I mean, the fares. It's
Right.
getting. That's where it's gonna kill you. Food.
Yeah. I got no business being in there anyway. I was just crashing the party this time. Well, Brad, we do this thing on our show here where we invite these people on that are in our community that everybody knows and enjoys, and then we torture them for about a half hour with with question and answer session.
Awesome.
So we've got some questions worked up for you, and these are basically just so everybody that gets to know you a little bit better as a person, not just to one of our fellow community members that we see in the chat. So the first question we have for you is, how long have you been playing the guitar? And there's a second part of that. Who or what inspired you to try it? And while he's answering, Dave, you got the link to Brad's channel you can throw up in the...
I got it.
So everybody, please
look at
obviously... Sub to Brad, since he's coming on here to endure the live wires torture that's about to happen to him.
So
Get him some more subs. So when did you start playing guitar, and who or what got you into that?
So I've been playing since I was 12,
Man.
and I really suck for being playing as long as I have. So that's puts me at 40 plus years.
Wow.
So
Hey, Dwight.
that was one of those things that I was trying to, so if you caught my show, that was the premise of my show last night. When David asked me about doing this, I started trying to think back. Okay, well, I got to remember back to when this happened, that happened, so on. So I'm going to say that the thing that first got me playing guitar was when I heard Terry Kath doing the solo in 25 or 6 to 4. Because that song to me was like, wow.
Chicago, right?
Chicago Man, yes.
Yeah.
So that to me was something else.
Here's trivia for you, Brad. You know what Chicago's original band name was?
That would be Chicago Transit Authority.
Bingo, we have a winner. Continue.
CTA. And the city of Chicago made them change it because they thought everybody would get confused.
And when they hit it, they were actually what, in San Francisco? They weren't in Chicago anymore when they made it.
It's like I don't think people are going to misunderstand a band versus the train. I think people can figure that out, but apparently not. So they shortened it. the second album. So, but as far back as I can remember, I always was listening to music. My parents owned a restaurant, like a little Greasy Spoon, open for breakfast and lunch. And
I love those places.
I tell you, man, they had it.
There's Oregon Steve, by the way.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Hey.
Were your ears burning? We were talking about you.
We were talking about you. Blaming you on why I couldn't go to Nashville last year.
It's all your fault, Steve.
That's right.
If I'd have known that, I wouldn't have sold him a Les Paul, but it's too late now.
But starting when I was in fourth grade, I used to go to the restaurant at lunch and after school because it was like a block from the school, and the jukebox was always playing. And back then, so that would have been about 67. Mm-hmm. So a lot of Beatles on the jukebox, the Rolling Stones. Mm-hmm. And I just constantly heard that music. And a couple years later, I was like, okay,
I need an axe.
I need a guitar.
So mom and dad get you the guitar?
No, I bought that guitar myself. I worked weekends. Later down the road, I worked weekends sweeping floors at a warehouse, and I saved up.
How'd you save up money to get a guitar when you were 12? Like cutting the grass or lawn work?
Yeah,
whatever.
I was sweeping floors in a warehouse.
Okay.
So on the weekends,
you weren't even old enough to have a work permit yet.
No. That was back in the day, slave labor,
They didn't care. And you didn't care because you needed axe money.
Money.
You needed axe money.
I mean, we were, I guess, middle class, lower middle class, maybe. My parents didn't.
I can relate.
They didn't have a lot of money, so.
I grew up in a factory town when the oil embargo was going on, and the Japanese were kicking our butts in the car industry. So tell me about it.
Yep. So I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
Steel City for sure.
Oh yeah, right on the lake. You know about winter time. That's why you're in Florida now. That's why you're in Tampa Bay.
Exactly why I live in Florida now.
Brad ain't no dummy.
I escaped in 1976 and
never looked back, brother.
No. I went back for about 3 months and said, no, what am I doing?
I escaped and got to Texas and then came back. I don't know what I was thinking. Like the first winter we were back, I was like, why did we do this?
Yeah, what were you thinking?
Money. It was about the work. No, it's like, we're already planning our next move. We're like, well, let's see. We're going to retire in 15 years. I like Sarasota.
That's who's missing. Where's Todd Flowers? Where's my Florida buddy Todd Flowers?
Yeah, he's usually in here. He's missing and he's MIA. All right, so that first guitar, did you still have it?
I do not.
Oh, well, tell me, what was it? What was it? Do you remember?
So I'm not even sure what the name of it was, to be quite honest.
Was it a Strat or a single cut?
It was a Strat style.
Mm-hmm.
It wanted to be a Silvertone. It would have been happy to be a Silvertone guitar.
Okay.
But I got it from a store. It wasn't even a music store. It was a place called Uncle Bill's.
So it's like a pawn shop or something, or just a bargain store?
Just a department store.
Had a little bit of everything.
Exactly. And I got that guitar and a little amp with a 8-inch speaker in it that you could turn all the way up and lay it down on the bed and get fuzz out of it,
Sweet. Get a little distortion. You need to stab a hole into the speaker. Right?
So
that's hilarious.
I'm trying to remember. I was trying to remember.
What color was it?
It was a Sunburst.
Did you when you saw it at Bob's Bargain Basement? Were you like that's the one?
No, I was like, I can afford that.
That's the one I can afford.
That's the one I can afford.
I got you.
Believe me, I would have loved to got one out of the Sears catalog, but I couldn't afford that.
Yeah, right. The Sears catalog, man. I used to memorize that. The one that would come in October with the toys in it for Christmas. I knew every page by heart by Christmas.
Absolutely.
You know it. So you mentioned the jukebox and you heard the Beatles and the Stones. What was the first album that you bought with your own money?
So the first album I bought with my own money, I still have it. What?
I have mine too. That's cool. Oh, Chicago. Yeah,
So,
there you go.
Chicago Dos.
Chicago said a little bit of rock and roll with a little bit of big band thrown in for good measure.
Yep. So
got the big horn section.
I originally started in music in an orchestra, in band, in school.
Gotcha. Did
Played.
you play horn?
I played horn. I played a French horn and a E flat horn. So that kind of got me started in music. So, like I said, that combination of those two was just something else. That just got me going. But
man, they had a roll of hits too. For a few years there, they were like ripping them off.
Oh yeah. The my second and third albums, I went backwards a little bit because I showed you earlier, but I was prepared. I actually did a little prep. I did my own show prep. So
there you go.
That was my.
Well,
so Zeppelin 2.
Gee, that's a bad album, isn't it?
And yeah,
that's just a horrible. Man, you got ripped up. What'd you pay for that? $6.50, man. You got ripped off.
I'm not sure.
Just totally joking, obviously.
But
$7 probably.
My parents hated this album.
Oh, really? Because you played it too much, probably.
Oh, yes. They were like, "What is that?" They were okay with Chicago, but this,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then I went backwards and
got the White Album.
Got the White Album.
Oh my God, Helter Skelter.
So
they thought it was bad with freaking Zeppelin, and then you went and got the White Album, went all Charles Manson on them. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. All right, so this next question's a little bit, you might have to think about it for a minute. Maybe not. If you could possess someone else's talent for 24 hours, who would you choose?
Ooh.
Hey, LPD in the house. What's up, brother?
Hey, Lawrence.
Hey, Lawrence. How's it going? Let me see.
You might want to stick around for a little bit, Lawrence, if you can.
While you're thinking real quick, there is a new pedal. There is a new LPD pedal. I must announce this real quick. It is the Two Ravens.
Yep.
Ooh.
It was posted on Instagram today. If
that makes it official.
It is official.
Not one Raven.
It's the Two Ravens, and it is Lawrence's take on the David Gilmour Ram's Head fuzz. There you go. There's my plug. Buy them.
Plus, he has cool pics now too. So.
Yes, hit Lawrence's Instagrams for pics.
It cracks me up that Joe says LPD ain't a mod. We're selling his stuff on here. We don't want to make it too obvious.
Yeah. So I would have to say I'm going to go with Bill Gates because
there you go.
I want to be able to have
everything. Everything.
So we'll go with that for a day. I would think everything that he had for a day, I'd probably be set the rest of my life.
Got some business talent, that's for sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
even if he didn't invent all the stuff that he's responsible for being in our hands, he had the wherewithal to see that was going to be the deal, man.
Yep, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
he gives a lot of his money away. I appreciate him for that. That dude gives billions of dollars away to charities and stuff. Of course, when you've got billions of dollars, it makes it easier to give billions of dollars away.
Right.
Right. So how many billions do you really need?
Yeah. And
you can only buy so much stuff until you have one of everything, and then you still got billions left. Right?
Well, then you can just start buying all the 59s you want.
Yeah.
Buy them all if you want.
I think I'd go to like I'd want to go see like Billy Gibbons' warehouse. Well, I'll tell you where I'd go. We'd fly over to that dude Matt's in France. Matt, bro, what are you doing for the next couple of days? And then we just go down to Italy and get our custom-made Ferraris.
You know, though, I think Norm has everybody beat.
Norm's is pretty nice.
Not just his showroom or his back room.
No, his private stash.
His
The
warehouse,
vault.
His
where
vault, yes.
they shoot a video from once a month, and there are cases and cases and cases of shipping crates full of guitars.
And I guarantee you, every one of those are as in cherry condition as they can be.
Oh yeah.
There's
Because-
another
because
store, and I can't think of the name.
One thing about Norm doesn't usually. He'll take some player grade stuff. Most of the time, he'll take that on trade in, but like his personal collection is pristine.
Hey, Brad Allen, what's up,
And
dude?
it's worth millions.
So Brad Allen is one of my friends. Well, I don't want to say friends. I'll get them all worked up from work. So.
Oh, okay. What's up, Brad Allen? Thanks for joining the show. I saw a new name out there.
Hey,
I was like,
Brad.
hey, I got to shout out to Brad. Thanks for joining in with us. We appreciate that. That's cool. So Bill Gates, I was kind of thinking maybe musical talent, but that'll work, man. You get your own choice. You get to pick your own path in life.
Absolutely,
Bill Gates could hire one of the best guitar teachers of all time and just take lessons every day. So and not worry about it.
He
How
could just
much it
hire
cost?
Lawrence, like have Lawrence completely on retainer.
Right. Lawrence would be like, oh, hell yeah.
Had to throw my plug in.
Lawrence is teaching Dave now. He's going to lessons from Lawrence, if you guys didn't know that. So I wish I could do that. The problem is you guys are 3-hour time zone away. So the travel back and forth for the half-hour lesson wouldn't really make sense economically, but it would be fun. All right, Brad, here's the last question. So I'm sure this one is the standard final question. I'm sure you've heard it before. So we're going to strand you on a deserted island.
Nice.
But you got power, so you're not completely going to be bored out of your mind. So you get to take one guitar, you get to take one amp, one pedal, one album to listen to. Could be one of those three you showed us, or it could be a different one, and then one miscellaneous luxury item. What are you going to take? What are you
Awesome.
taking? What are you taking to the island?
Guitar. I'm taking this.
Nice. Ooh, pretty. I love that pick guard, dude. That is gorgeous. What year is that? What color? That's like a silver mist.
It's more of a green. What they call that? They call that.
Seafoam? Because it looks blue.
It's seafoam mist. So
Okay.
it's got the sparkle in it.
It's
it's-
beautiful. It
it's
looks
a-
blue on the camera, but it's still gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I love the pearlescent type pick guard. What year is that?
It's an 05
Wow, nice one.
Lone Star.
Mm,
So it's got the pearly gates in it.
nice.
Favorite pickup.
I love the pearly gates. I am right there with you, bro.
That's
That's a gorgeous guitar.
that is definitely what my favorite. That's probably my number one.
Is that the modern C neck on that one, Brad? Or,
It's more of a shallow C, so not quite a
Okay.
D, but
right.
it's got the 9.5-inch radius, so it definitely doesn't have the big curve on it, so
Right.
it plays very nice.
So that's your
Great
go-to,
tones.
baby.
That's my go-to.
Well, I would think so with the pearly gates and the bridge and then 2 single coils. You got about everything covered
Yep.
with that bad boy.
And I added the S1 switching to that as well.
Nice.
So that gives you a lot more combinations. Although I don't really use it, I use it more for there's one combination you can turn all the pickups on at the same time. So that's about the only time I use that.
Hey, Spencer's in, man. Hey, what's up, Spencer? Spencer Cron's in the house tonight. I don't know if you've joined us before or not, Spencer, but I appreciate you being on, joining in on the chat tonight. Thanks for that. So, Brad, what amp are you? I see a Fender sitting back there. Is that your baby?
That's actually, I wouldn't say that's, I don't know if that's the amp I would bring though.
Well, you can take whatever you want. It doesn't matter whether you currently own it or not. You can stop by Guitar Center, well, not the one in Mesa, but you can stop by other Guitar Centers on your way to the Desert Island and get stuff.
Oh, wow.
No!
Man,
No!
you guys are harsh, man.
Well, I used to work at Sam Ash, so that's the evil empire anyway. So. Go ahead.
So I would probably...
Jay's serenading
like
us.
a JCM 800, I think.
Okay, you can't go wrong with that. JCM 800's a great choice because you can go plexi or all the way full LA hair metal.
Right.
Just with the knob, dude. Right?
So,
with the gain knob.
I think I would definitely do that. Pedal. I'm pretty much turned into a line 6 guy, so I've got a stomp.
You're a helix. You got a stomp. Yeah. So we were gonna mention that. So I've got the. He's got the floor. I got the LT, and you got the stomp.
Hey,
so
we got it all covered right there.
How long have you had the stomp, and are you getting it all figured out? Because I'm starting to. My buddy Eric Broadbent, Music Gear Network, is opened a few doors for me here in the last few days, and I'm like, oh, I get it. Okay, now I see how this works.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's just like all the factory presets. There's a few good ones, but most of them sound exactly alike.
Right. Exactly.
They're totally, yeah. So
they're good for finding the effects. Is what the factory presets are good for.
Yeah.
To find the effects to use, because you go, oh, what's that? You know.
What I've been doing is I'll copy a factory preset over to a user, and then I'll drop out all the crap I don't want off of it, because I don't need a flanger. I probably don't need the phaser. Right? You know what I mean? I don't need the phase shifter.
So I would probably go something line 6 helix. That way you've got everything between that guitar, that amp, that got it all
cabinet.
Covered.
Yeah.
So got it all covered.
Absolutely. All right. So one album.
Ooh.
This is where it gets difficult for some people. My answer's easy, but not everybody has one that they can't live without. For me, it's like the 5th or 6th album I ever got too, which is different.
So I would probably go with the Rush live album, Live in Rio.
Oh, wow. That's a good one because live albums are so much fun, especially when they're good recording.
That one is a great recording. It's got every good song they do on it. They were in their prime, you know.
Yeah.
So
I think
in
their prime.
Melissa says, "What? No phaser? You got to have a phaser."
Well, if you're playing some Van Halen, you need a little phaser in there.
Yeah.
I got all that stuff too. It's just for the most part, I want me an amp. I want some kind of a drive pedal, an amp, a couple of. I like putting in 2 4x12s because I can have 2 4x12s through my little lines. Why? Because I can.
Hey, I'm on an island.
And I'm on an island.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So you got your album. Now you get one miscellaneous luxury item.
So my luxury item. So I'm gonna say, as much as I hate them, I'm gonna say a helicopter.
An RC helicopter or a regular big one?
A regular helicopter. That way I can.
So you can leave the island
when I need to leave the island and come back when I need to come back.
I just had my first helicopter ride last week, and I flew from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon, landed in the Grand Canyon, got off, walked around in the Grand Canyon, got back in and flew back. It was spectacular. But I was in a ultra modern, brand new helicopter, so I felt pretty safe. But it was a blast. You don't like them, huh?
They're not meant to fly.
Well, no, they're trying to shake themselves apart.
Exactly.
I used to fly radio control ones with a transmitter, right? And it's basically like trying to balance a marble on a sheet of glass. That's the hovering. That's the analogy I can give you. Try to balance a marble on a sheet of glass.
Yep, that's about how they fly too. Not the same way.
And they're loud and they vibrate a lot. Even the brand new one I was in was like, it's like, get to the chopper.
I had a warrant officer tell me one time.
Oh, Terry Hines says we just got demonetized because you're freaking playing.
We're not monetized to begin.
I think we got like 106 subs or something. Maybe a little bit better than that. I think we're at maybe 120.
No, warrant officer told me one time flying a helicopter was like trying to balance a like a 12-foot 2x12 on a straight pin.
Yeah. Well, when you're flying one radio controlled, you don't have any seat of the pants either. It's all visual. So when it's coming at you, which is we refer to as nose in, then your brain now has to work backwards, right? Because this way is going to crash if you keep going. It's not going to, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, it's mind blowing. Guitar is so much cheaper. Trust me on this. Don't get into RC helicopters because you can wad up $3,000 in an instant. Just turn it into dust.
So there's a video on YouTube of a B-52 RC going.
Yeah, big monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to some of those big RC events and seen some jets get smoked in. It's not pretty.
Spectacular crashes.
Yeah. One was in Florida and it set the damn woods on fire. They had to call the fire department and everything. Crazy.
So if you want to freak a helicopter pilot out, do this.
So you're going to take a helicopter as your luxury item so you can just fly into town and get supplies.
Yep.
That's kind of cheating, but we'll roll with it.
But if you want to freak a helicopter pilot out, you do this.
That means the Jesus bolt broke and the rotor just came up.
Exactly what that means, yeah.
They literally, okay, just so everybody knows, there's literally a part on a helicopter that's called the Jesus bolt. Because if that bolt breaks, you're going to go see Jesus. It's the bolt that holds the freaking rotor, the swash plate onto the rotor shaft. And if it goes, you're done.
Yep.
All right, man, we got to move on. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. So the next part of our show is known as, Dave's going to put his guitar down and you're going to have to actually talk. Dr. Dave's Tips and Tricks. Dr. Dave, are you ready to rock your tips and tricks for tonight?
Yep, let's do it. Let me just say
things get dangerous. Nobody say the N-word. Which is nut, Brad. The N-word's nut, Brad. Don't say nut.
Okay.
Things will go off the rails.
So I believe last we discussed we had leveled the board. We'd gone ahead and we'd leveled the frets, and we'd gone ahead and taken care of any sharp fret ends. So, oh yeah, we did crown. So once we get our crown,
that's not crown. That's maker's mark.
Yes, it is. Once our frets get crowned, what I do is I take like 800 grit wet dry sandpaper, and I just tear little strips, and with fretboard still masked, of course. What I'll do is I'll use that 800 to start pulling out the scratches. You're not going to remove much material off the frets with 800. Once you can get the scratches out from your, hopefully you got a good crowning file, and you want to make sure you work both sides of the fret. So what I like to do is I take my little, and I usually go so wide by just the, down to my last sheet. I'll just go maybe so wide, and I'll just cut straight, and then I'll fold them over.
Don't be spending any of that T-chip money on sandpaper.
Yeah.
just
and yeah, I'll just fold it over and make. I try to make like as thick, almost as thick as I can, and then pretty much what I like to do is I just hold it at an angle and go across, and then hold it at an angle and go across on the other side of the fret. I try to leave the top alone, but you sometimes you gotta, because sometimes you got some nasty grooves in the top from your sanding from your leveling beam. But anyway, go through it with 800. Sometimes soda I do. What soda's referring to is the flapping technique. And this is just a piece of 600, and hear it flapping. That's what he's referring. That's the flapping technique. And yeah, you can. It's usually on new frets, or on a new fretboard. Hey, Krellbar. But yeah, it's not. I don't use it all the time. When I do it, it's usually going to be at a higher grit, like 1500 or even micro mesh.
Krellbar's just here for the prizes.
Yeah, exactly. So once you get down, so what I usually do is I usually sand out to about 1500. Quentin James in the house, and then I'll go to. I have some of the crimson fret rubbers or fret erasers, whatever you want to call them. And I just
would a regular eraser work? Because I've got some erasers that are like
these are impregnated with a grit.
Like pin erasers is what I used to polish stainless steel brushed watches with.
Once you get down to like micro mesh level polishing, you can do that, but I usually stop it with about the super fine fret eraser. Once I get to that point, the scratches are usually so small, I just switch over to auto saw and hand buff the frets out from there. And that's it. So when you're done, your frets should be nice and shiny. There shouldn't be any. There should be minimal, if any, scratches on them. If you do it right, and you should have a really nice playing guitar at that point.
Dave, tell me if I'm doing something wrong here, because when I'm polishing frets, I've been using the last step. I use this paste. It's made for cleaning like gold and silver jewelry, so it's really fine. It's not super abrasive. But it does a really good job, and it leaves a real shiny finish. And I'll just put it on like a soft rag and kind of use it to like do a final buff on them. That's not going to hurt anything, is it? I do have to tape off the fretboard when I'm doing it, because I don't want to get that paste on the wood. I did notice it'll get in the wood grain, and then you never can get it out.
You should tape off your fretboard, especially when you're using anything like that. So I use AutoSol, and it's an automotive like chrome cleaner, chrome buffer.
Okay. My stuff's even less. It's probably even less abrasive than that. It's more like for jewelry.
Right.
Or gold or silver, like silverware.
Right.
You know what? You don't want to remove any metal. You're just trying to get rid of oxidation and crap. Right.
Well, no. All you're doing at that point is polishing the fret up to like near
the gloss,
as glassy as you can get it.
Smooth.
And that makes it smooth. Exactly. So that way, when you bend strings, you're not getting any sort of, it's not grindy. I'm sure we've all picked up inexpensive guitars, and you first time you go bend a string and you feel it, and it feels like you're moving the string across sandpaper.
You see that there, Dave? I suggest that our buddy Guitar Hack hang around until a later segment in the show.
You may
Might
you
want
may
to
find something cool.
Might want to hang around for a couple. Just saying.
So, but that's pretty much it. Once you get it done, make sure if you're using AutoSol or Brasso or any type of metal polish like that, make sure you take the time and clean the frets off as good as you can. Make sure you get, because they'll turn your fingers black for months, and you're just kind of grinding that in your fret.
I'd be shocked with the stuff I use, and I should go get it. Tell you the name. I'll do that next show. But literally, I will have polished the frets like all the stages that you've already talked about, and then I'll go over them with this stuff, and it'll still turn the cloth black.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
There's still oxidation and crap on there.
Yeah, use a soft cotton cloth. Use it clean. Just wipe that stuff off and use it like it's somebody else's, like somebody else is paying for it. When it starts turning black, flip it over, find a clean spot, and just keep going.
Yeah, I like the microfiber. They're kitty cat.
Kitty cat. So
Kitty cat.
yeah, once you're done, guys, you should have a really great. No, Dave's not getting hammered, by the way.
Not yet. We still get by the end of the show. By the end of the show, Brad will be the only. Brad will have to drive the. Oh, Brad's drinking too. Oh, damn! Nobody's gonna be driving the bus at the end of the show. Poor Dave. I got chauffeured in Phoenix last week. I actually got in the back seat. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna ride back here and just see what this getting chauffeured thing's all about. We went out to dinner. I'm ordering bourbon. He's having one beer. I'm like, see.
No, Dave's not getting hammered. This is only my second.
Dave has to work in the morning.
Yeah, Dave has to work. Dave's
does
been
me.
Stupid busy lately, so.
I got hammered enough at Dave's house a week ago Monday to last me for a while.
This is true. Lawrence brings up a good point. If you have stainless frets, you don't have to worry about oxidation.
Oh yeah, because then they're just they don't. Stainless. I've had stainless steel get rusty. It is possible, but you got to really abuse it.
It's got to be, yeah.
Hey,
you gotta
Dave, so one thing on maple fretboards about taping them off that I did not know, don't just put the tape on the fretboard. Put it like on your jeans first and rip it off a couple times and then put it on the fretboard.
So you don't pull any of the nice finish off?
You will pull the finish, you'll pull the finish right off.
What I use,
we have a guitar coming up.
I use the low tack frog tape.
Yep, but even
low tack will leave the lacquer every time.
Yeah, even that, depending on the finish, can take it off. I was at my friend's guitar shop and was watching the guy do a tape on the fretboard, and that's exactly the tape he had, but he would put it on the mat on the guitar on the desk first and peel it off a couple times and then put it down because they have had even that pull off. So
yeah. So
sorry to cover your face, Brad, but I got to know more about this.
I don't know what that is.
The other trick, Brad, is to not leave the tape on for very long.
Yes, that's the other thing too.
Don't leave the tape on. Don't. Leave
I do them one at a time.
Don't leave it on.
I've just been using blue tape. But all my fretboards are rosewood, so I've just been using the blue painter's tape. I don't have any problem.
If I'm leveling, I have to tape off. You have to tape off the whole board. There's no and you're into it at that point.
This is good information, guys, but I have to stop the show down for a minute because I have to know more about this.
Stripper in a gold bikini.
There was something happened in the chat that we missed, and I think we might have to back up in time and find out what that is.
I use the low tack. I make sure it's low tack. Anything going on, like maple and I only have.
Quentin says he uses duct tape.
I have three guitars. I only have 3 guitars with me.
I wish the stupid banner didn't cover up the guest face. I don't know what to do about it. There's nothing to do about it.
I mean, when like I said, when I do it, I just I'm in it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get done with it. that day, and I'm gonna pull the tape off. So I mean, if it's just a fret or two that I need to work on or work out, like a high fret, low fret kind of situation.
Oh no, you
then
didn't.
I'll just tape that fret off or whatever and go. But yeah, I always use the low tack, and sometimes
Bias
I will do
FX before. Is that a fret cleaning material?
No, Bias FX is software.
Oh. Oh, sorry, Will. Oh man.
I've played with.
Wow, Quentin, really?
I'm not even gonna put that. That's harsh.
Oh, that's
Wow. Wow. Guess who's unsubscribing from Q's channel later on tonight?
cold. Man, that's just
yeah,
cold.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he's kicked Brad to the curb.
So that pretty much is gonna kill the Dr. Dave's tips and tricks. So that's pretty much taking care of frets, taking care
Quentin
of
buys
root
rope and lime with his duct tape.
So anyway, hope you guys learned a little something. If you haven't,
There's some people out there that don't get the lime reference, but there's other of us that do. I was just in Vegas. That's where they dig a hole out in the desert.
Right.
And then later on, I'll call you and let you know where it's at.
Yeah.
You've seen the movie
Lime.
Casino.
Not
Go
the
dig some
fruit.
holes in the desert.
Lime, as in limestone, not the fruit.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
my goodness.
if any of you guys have any questions about doing fret work, let me know. I'll be happy to answer.
He's
them
doing
as best I can.
Skype lessons for a fee. No, that's not true.
That's
But
not-
you could.
I could maybe. I wouldn't.
All
charge
right.
Anybody. But moving on.
How long? We've been on for a while. I don't even know what time it is.
Yeah,
Oh my
we're
God, it's almost
an
10
hour
o'clock.
in. Yeah,
All
we're
right,
almost
so
an
we,
hour
we should do let's move on. So the next segment, we're back to the full segment series of the show after last week's Seat of the Pants deal. So tonight we are going to bring back these Go to 11. And tonight it is the Copa Belli. I'm going to
This
put
thing.
I'm going to put, I'm going
This
to put
thing
me,
right here.
I'm going to put that up there. Look at that
Put the
bad
link.
boy. Look at that bad boy.
Cocapelli. That's this thing
Boom.
right here.
That's a pretty looking pedal too. It's a good looking pedal.
It is a beautiful pedal.
It's a
I
party
have
one.
I have the real thing, not just a picture. I mean, this is the real
It's
deal
a
right here.
pretty one.
That's the real
Boom.
deal.
Now we got
right
both.
there.
Now we got
Now we
both.
got both. So
Stick it
this
up there
is-
again. There
This
you
is
go.
this is basically a dirty boost.
This is an underestimated pedal in the LPD selection of pedals. It gets
Absolutely.
overshadowed by the 68 and the 74 and the 87, but this is a little sweetie right here, isn't it?
It is a sweetheart. It is besides the 87. I don't think anybody can argue the fact it's my favorite LPD pedal, but this right here is probably a close second. This thing, it just sounds great. It sounds good. It sounds good in front of a clean amp. It sounds good in front of a dirty amp, and I mean you got two voices, so it's almost a tube screamer but better. When you have the fat. So you have a fat switch, the mini toggle there.
Is it fair to say it's sweeter than a tube screamer?
Absolutely.
It's got its sweetness to it, right?
It really does. So when you have the fat switch off or fat switch down, right, which is off, it's kind of got this. It's got kind of that tube screamer mid hump. But to me it sounds more. A little more plexy than just a tube screamer in front of an amp would. So you get that kind of cool plexy kind of tone, and then with the fat switch, so it changes the mid shift to where it's not as nasally and not as pronounced. And
Tell everybody
you've
what
got-
a Cocapelli is, because they may not understand the reference. It has something to do with where you and Lawrence live.
Yes,
It's
indeed.
the Native American tribes, right? Lawrence
Yeah,
comes up with clever names for his pedals, and a lot of them have to do with the part of the country that he lives in.
Kokopelli is a fertility deity. Is what Kokopelli is.
He's on there. The little Kokopelli guy is on the pedal.
The little guy is Kokopelli. That is Kokopelli.
Yeah.
Often depicted as a humpback flute player. So yeah, it's a Native American fertility deity. So there you go.
There you go.
So
Man,
yeah,
is there anything
super-
Crowbar doesn't know?
Right. I don't know, man.
Crowbar says he's been to Arizona. It's a fertility Native American god. Yo, Crowbar, we're gonna play a game later tonight. You cannot play.
You cannot play. You're exempt. And we'll ask you not to answer.
It's chicken. It's chicken. It's chicken. When we get to game time, put Crowbar in timeout.
She'll do it too.
Because chicken loves to put people in timeout. That's like her favorite thing ever.
So anyway, no, great pedal. Lawrence is blowing these out for I think $139.
Dude, I think I'm gonna get one just to stick it in the loop on my Helix, because that's the cool thing about a Helix. You can run pedals through it, right?
Absolutely. If you guys want a killer drive pedal that's gonna cost less than an 808 and sounds way better than an 808, this is your guy. Pick him up while he's got them. This is he's not gonna be making these for
A, it sounds better. B, it's handmade, it's hand signed, and it's Lawrence, who's super nice and super cool. So it's fun to support him anyway.
Yep.
And I guarantee you, if you get that pedal or any one of his pedals, and for whatever reason you don't like it, well, first off, that's never going to happen. But if you don't like it and you call him back and say, Lawrence, I don't like it, he's like, oh, send it back and, I'll take care of it. It's not going to be a problem. Dude is straight up, can't make a bad pedal.
No.
They may not all be for you, but none of them are bad, right? Yeah, you can do that, Guitar Hat. You can run a pedals with a Helix. Yes,
absolutely. It's very viable. I've done it. I actually did my last live stream. My last live stream on my channel is pedals through a Helix. Check it out if you want.
The thing I found out, and Brad, maybe you'll find this out too with your stump, with the Helix, less is more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I need like a drive, maybe a noise gate, an amp, couple of cabs, maybe some delay or reverb. I'm done.
Yeah, well, I have to do a lot of ambient stuff, so I always have reverb and delay going, and sometimes.
But you have a lot of choices.
Stack
you're
delays.
Stacking them.
Stack the delays.
It's fun though. You got all these options to play with, right?
Yep.
So cool. All right, man, you ready to move on? We got some fun stuff coming up still in the show, so don't go away. We are ready for the red hot segment of the show.
Red hot.
And let me get ready to do a little screen share application for us. And tonight, the first one is going to be that bad boy right there. And that is a
Les Paul 2018 in studio in Smokehouse Burst. Guys, this thing has new pickups. This thing has Burstbucker 1, Burstbucker 2 pickups. This thing, $850. And it comes with the good gig bag, not the cheap, flimsy little.
Look at the top on that thing.
Wow.
It actually has some good figuring in the top.
I like the little knot in the wood right there. That's cool. The little knot.
I mean these are like fingerprints for the guitar, right?
I'd probably get rid of the speed knobs, but I mean they work with it.
Yeah, maybe, but it does have push-pull pots. I'm pretty sure. But this thing, this thing is it's
they're push-pull. They're definitely push-pull.
Yeah, at $850. Hey, if you don't like the zebra pickups, spend $15 and buy some covers for them. Okay. You can buy some chrome covers for those pickups.
We know somebody who should get this guitar. No, we're not going to say names. Chicken guitars. Chicken guitars. Kayla. Just buy some
covers.
and wax them. Girl, you got skills. Look how clean this thing is.
So that thing is smoking clean for $850 and
BB1,
and
BB2,
BB1, BB2. That's like the best pickups in the.
That's
gig
the
line. And this is
new
the
gig
case.
bag.
This is the Billy Joe badass gig bag.
Yeah, I had that one with my SG. It's actually as good as the case and weighs half as much.
Yeah, I mean that is the Billy Joe badass bags of gig bags, and for $850, this thing is a deal.
Put that link in the description.
It will be.
It will be.
$850, 50 shipping. The dude's in Georgia. You could probably message him. You could probably message him where you live at and say, "Hey, dude, I'll give you
I stuck that link because, guys, that's a steal that should not last very. It's been up for 4 months.
I can't. Well, but he just dropped it. Look, it was $1,500. Now it's $850.
$850.
$850 is like the dude wants to sell it.
Yep.
So shoot him an email. Shoot him just the pickups alone, guys. I don't care if they're zebra or not, but just the pickups alone are worth about $300.
So that was the Les Paul Studio Smokehouse Burst with a BB1 and a BB2 for $850.
$850. That's a smoking deal.
Smoking.
All right.
Okay, let me get
next up on the list.
Brad will like this one.
Yeah. So this is a 60th anniversary limited standard Strat. It is made.
Now this is a Maxi.
2006.
That's
It's a
placed about
Maxi.
right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
4 1/4.
I actually might.
gold.
I might buy this one myself. If somebody else does it, I might.
Yeah, I mean
It has one little defect.
Yep, alder body, maple neck, modern C shape, which I like.
Still has the plastic on the pick guard. You can see they never peeled it off, and
Never
it's
peeled the
actually kind of
plastic.
it's ruined the pick guard more or less. But you could get
Well,
that
no.
off. There's a
No,
way to
it
get that off.
No, it hasn't, because that plastic has aged, and the plastic underneath it hasn't. So it's
Sometimes
actually-
though, it leaves like a residue behind.
Sometimes it might. Yeah, sometimes it might. So
60th anniversary
on the
neck
on
plate.
The neck plate, yeah. Which is
60th
cool. The
anniversary
60th
medallion on the
medallion,
headstock.
Yep.
Now it's a
Fender
Maxi.
tuners,
I love that color.
but still 4 1/4 for a Mexican.
Got the hard
Strat.
hard shell case.
Hard
which
shell
is-
case.
That
Guys,
case
that's a
costs
smoking
$100. That's
Yeah,
a $100 case easy.
That's a smoking deal, man.
Now it has
20
this.
21 frets or not, that's a smoking deal, man.
This is the only imperfection on the guitar. The guy says it got this red stain, which appears to be underneath the poly.
Huh.
That
Okay.
happens sometimes. It just happens.
He says it's not marker. It's not on the poly. It's under the poly. He says that in the
Under the poly.
description. $425, people. 65 shipping. It's in Leesburg, Florida. That's near you, isn't it?
That's about 40 minutes.
Yeah. So Guitar Dan's.
Guitar Dan's, Leesburg,
There's your
Florida.
backup. There's your backup guitar.
Yeah.
If I don't buy it first. All right, let me get rid of that one. So that was
All
the $425 Fender Strat. That was pretty
60th
freaking
anniversary
sweet.
Fender. Yeah.
All right, so let me find.
Next
Oh,
up-
this one's cool. I like
have-
this one.
We have a 1989.
Yeah, here we go. There it is.
1989 Charvette by Charvel.
Oh.
A Charvette. A Charvette.
Charvette. It's a hum single. It's got the splatter paint in its original case, hard shell case.
Wow. I had one of those cases. That
$459.99.
one is in killer shape. Mine had broken latches and stuff. That
Yeah,
case
it's
is
in
awesome.
Good shape. The guitar's in really good shape. Yeah, it's got should be the Jackson branded Floyd Rose.
That's a
Charvel
JT.
branded.
It's a JT6. I recognize it because
a
that's
Jack,
what
yeah.
I had on my Charvel, and it's
Yeah.
a straight copy.
Yep. Smoking little guitar, man, and cool paint job to boot.
Yep.
If you ask me.
I like it.
I like the splatter. That's cool.
I just like, look, that usually this tip is broke the hell off.
Yep.
This one's got little dingage, but not horrible.
Yeah, it's not
I've
bad.
I've seen worse.
Right.
They always have really nice necks.
You're talking a 30-year-old guitar, man.
Yeah, it looks in really good shape.
Now, how sad does that make you, real quick? In
a little
1989, 30 years old.
There might be a little chippage.
There may be. Yeah, but again, it's a 30-year-old guitar.
This is what shocks me is this isn't busted off.
Yeah,
This is usually what gets tore off.
That corner, that corner gets just smashed.
Here's the joint. So obviously
the scarf
it's
joint. Yep.
yeah.
But yeah,
Man, I can't get over how good the case. The case is in amazing shape.
for $495. I mean, that's a good deal.
Yeah, case is 30 years old. Besides the guitar.
Right. I mean, it's still $100. I mean, that's a molded case, so that's $130 case if you.
Oh,
if you were
those
to buy a molded
cases are
case.
serious, dude, and they got a big.
Yeah,
they got a latch on them. Each one can lock.
Yep.
It's in cherry shape. Guitar's
Yeah,
30
it's
years
in good
old.
shape. 30-year-old
Cherry.
guitar, man. It's in good shape.
So he's asking $495.
He's open for offers.
It's been on here for 2 months. He just lowered. No, this is. He's in Olympia, Washington.
$400, man. You can walk
Look at the
away
figuring
with
on the back of the neck on that thing.
That's a cool grain pattern, yeah.
If you like splatter, and not everybody's gonna like splatter.
No, it's
but if
not
you like
everybody, so
splatter,
that's cool.
if you like splatter, that's a pretty nice shreddy guitar for that money, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's cool, man. Hey, look
All
at
right.
that, Charvel. Hey,
There you go.
Show me the rest of it.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh,
got a
your
little
hum. Okay.
got a little hum. He's got the same bridge almost. No, that's
No.
more modern. That's more modern.
No.
No, it is. That's a
It's
that's a
the Jackson
JT6.
bridge.
That's
No,
a
it's
JT6 bridge. I recognize it.
No, it is not.
No,
It's not a
that's
JT6?
Kaler. That's the
a
Kaler bridge.
Oh, it's the Kaler bridge. So
Same with
yours
the
is
Kaler.
newer.
That's the Kaler
Yours is-
Flyer. No, it's not. It's the same age.
Yep.
That's mid late 80s. Yep. So that's either a model 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah. Couldn't figure it out either.
It's so hard to tell with the 2,
Well, I had a Model
because
2
you-
which had a single pickup, which makes no sense.
Right. Well, see,
Right.
the Model 2s could be any configuration. But
I love my
the
Model
main
2. I
thing-
sold it to my brother-in-law. Damn it.
The main thing with the Model 2s, though, was the I forgot what I was going to say now.
By the way, we have more Charvel action. We have
We
a
do.
guitar hack
We do.
special coming up here in a minute.
Hang tight. So moving on. By the
right.
way, that's a cool Charvel, man. I like that.
Before we get there, though, we have,
We have-
let's see, we have this one. They're never in order on my.
We have a 2016 Gibson Firebird
With
in
a nice
Heritage
price.
or in regular Sunburst at $1,050. So the guys and so they've had the Billy Gibbons pinstripe thing painted on it, which is kind of cool.
I mean,
like
it's
it.
either your thing or it's not your thing. But
Right.
I love Billy's guitars with the because he's a car guy, you know.
Right.
I mean, it's not for everybody, but this one appears to be very well done.
And it's got the slightly more desirable Steinberger tuners. They're a lot more accurate than the.
It also has this
banjo.
trim system added, and I forget the name of it. It's in the description.
It's made by that trim system is made by Duesenberg.
Now he says that the original bridge is included. So,
Right.
but just for aesthetic reasons, it matches this guitar with the pinstripes. Even if you
looks-
never touched it, it looks freaking cool.
But
It looks
still,
like
you're talking 1050 on this thing. He's taking offers. $1,000, man. That's a pretty good.
I like the
deal, man.
two-tone headstocks on the
Yep.
Firebirds. A lot of times they're
Yep.
just all black. Got the nice this thing's in cherry shape, man. Cherry
Yeah,
shape.
I like the
Oh,
two-tone.
so it's got the cool pinstripe on the back too. Mini
See,
hums.
I like the two-tone on the Firebird headstock too.
I do too. Yeah, I can't see what you're showing because I can only drive, but yeah. So 1,050. He's taking an offer. He's asking 50. He wants 55 shipping, and this guy's Middle America, Trevor, Wisconsin. So you can probably knock 10%. You could probably get $1,000 out the door.
Yeah.
It's only been on here for a week.
Yeah.
But if you give him
$900.
if you give him a legit offer, like I'm in Ohio, so shipping to Ohio isn't that bad. He'd take less money because he didn't cost him as much to ship it. If you're in Baja, California,
well, I mean, I'll offer $950, basically $1,000 out the door, and that's a cool guitar, man.
so it's not for everybody, but it is a good price and it is a cool guitar with the upgrades
really
that are on
is.
it, if that's your thing. All right,
And
we got a
moving
couple more.
Couple
This one's a little bit different than what we've had on the show before, but it's a
So-
nice guitar.
I have actually played and laid eyes and laid hands on this guitar, so I can personally vouch that it's a really good player.
Peavey Destiny.
Peavey Destiny. This is made in the USA. It was made between '89 and like '91.
Pretty color.
Yeah, it's this is like bright cobalt blue. It is a neck through.
Wow,
24
nice
frets.
access.
Yes, it does have good heel access, or upper fret access. It is a Kaler tremolo system, and
Nice headstock.
yeah,
Very
the
pointy.
headstock's cool because it's kind of fluted. It's got that fluting kind of towards the end of the headstock.
Got a bit of a ding.
Yeah, it's got a few bumps and bruises, but I mean, you're
Swirls.
also talking about almost a 30-year-old guitar.
Yeah.
So, but it plays great. Yeah, it is a Spider. Taylor,
You can
thank
see
sir.
those little flutes that you were mentioning a little bit better.
Yep.
It's very Horizon ESP shape.
Yep. It's
Don't
a
you
cool
think?
guitar, man. It is a cool guitar. It's six and a quarter. It's a
I
little.
like what
bit, It's a little high. $500, and he'd probably sell it to you. 500 plus the 60.
I like what they did with that headstock.
Yeah, the headstock's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, super cool guitar. Like I said, I have actually personally played that. That was in Mackenzie River Music, which is in Eugene, Oregon, and they had it before I moved down here. So I actually did get to play it.
So they're asking basically $685 all in, but they're taking
Right.
an offer, and
Right.
it's been on here for over half a year. So
7 months,
at this
yeah.
point, it needs to go.
Yeah.
And they got a good
Shoot
rating.
him a $500 offer, and I bet he'd probably take it.
Probably say, let's do it,
I
brother.
believe it
All
has
right.
the case too. I believe it has the hard case too.
Yeah, it
if
had
I'm
the
not
case.
mistaken.
Yeah, it had the
okay.
case.
Yep.
All
hard
right, we
case.
got one more. So
One more.
this one's pretty freaking sweet. Let me get this
So-
up here. I like this color too, a little Ferrari red action.
This is exactly the guitar. The guitar I let slip through my fingers back in the early '90s. This is the Model 6, Charvel.
got the shark
Ferrari-
tooth inlays, baby. Ferrari red. Woo!
Ferrari red neck through.
Got the case.
Yep. And
Hack,
I
you
mean,
paying attention?
these things were great. Not gonna lie, these things were,
Binding on the
Yeah.
neck, baby.
yeah, they were great guitars, man. It's HSS, yes, and those pickups, those Jackson pickups, just they had some grunt and growl to them.
The plates
The-
are recessed.
Yeah,
The
plates are. It's got a few,
The Jackson pickups, if you actually look on the bottom, they say Jackson by Seymour Duncan.
Yeah.
So they're actually,
there's
yeah.
Seymour's.
yep.
Looks like the plates are recessed,
They are.
which is a nice little. Look
Nice
how great
touch.
shape that headstock is in with binding, baby.
Yep.
Killer
No,
shape.
it's got a few bumps and bruises, but it's got one hairline crack in it. at the body cavity.
There's a little dink, but not bad. There's a pretty nasty dink, but it's on the back.
824. I mean,
Also on the back.
There's nothing that's gonna cause playability issues on this. It's actually in pretty good shape. You're talking.
The case is tore up. He's only got one active latch.
Yeah,
that's what happens on these cases is the latches get tore off.
You can actually replace those latches if you want, but
it's good enough to ship it in.
Yep.
So, 8 1/4.
Yep.
$50 shipping, more or less. The dude is
Right.
actually in Port Charlotte, Florida. He's not taking an offer, but that doesn't mean you can't send him a message and say,
Send him a
hey,
message.
$750 plus your $46.95, and I'm in.
Yeah.
12
So,
days
yeah.
ago. It won't last long because guitars like that, somebody wants a Model 6 that's in that shape, they're going to pay that money.
They're
So-
cool guitars.
Yeah, there was one of those at the local replay guitars.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the same guitar because there aren't too many of those. It had
No.
the case. I remember it looked kind of beat up, and they were asking almost $1,000 for it at the time.
It's because of the
So-
age of it,
Yeah.
It's vintage now.
They're starting to do this in value.
Well,
So,
everything, yeah,
They're
that
going
was-
up.
Yeah,
The pointy stuff from the 80s, which was the stuff we wanted when we were kids, is now
Right.
becoming more valuable
So
right
Or
right
older
now.
kids.
They go a few years ago you could buy them for nothing. Now they're $825.
right.
All right.
Every once in a while, you'll see a Model 6 pop up, and they're like $600-700. But this one's in about the best shape that I've seen in a while.
Just-
so
All the damage
Just throwing
appears
it
to be
out
on
there.
the back, so
yeah, all the major cosmetic stuff is on the back. So
all right. Well, that was
You're
the
never
Red
gonna see
Hots for tonight, gang. I think we had some pretty good ones.
I hope so. Anyway,
Hope so anyway.
had a
So-
good mix of guitars.
Yes.
So that brings us to
the final segment of the show, and before we get that going, let me make sure I'm ready to go here, and I believe we are. So tonight we're gonna do the Circüit Breakers again, and as we've been doing the last several weeks, Dave's gonna do all in the name of rock history, and
All in the name of.
got some cool stories tonight, Dave. So I got my little
Yeah, we
list
got
here.
So we got a fairly significant week this week in rock history.
You ready to go?
We'll yeah, I'm ready to go. We'll break it down day by day. So on October 13th, which was Sunday, Bob Dylan was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for having created new poetic expressions with the Great American Song tradition, or within the Great American Song. The previous winners in this category included several other people. Dylan was the first American to win after 19.
Imagine that.
And he won that October 13th of 2016.
So Bob Dylan got the Nobel Peace Prize.
Or Nobel Prize in Literature.
Nobel Prize, not the Peace Prize. You just got
Not
a
the Peace
Nobel
Prize,
Prize.
just Nobel Prize, right.
All right.
Also-
Moving along.
Also in 1941,
Oh, hell, that ain't, yeah, that's
October
the right one.
13th, Paul Simon was born, of Simon and Garfunkel.
Paul Simon was born.
Yep. Also,
It-
October 13th in 1947, 6 years after Paul Simon was born,
hi, Sammy.
Sammy Hagar was born.
I've had the pleasure of meeting Sammy, and he is one of the happiest, high on life individuals. If you ever get the opportunity to shake his hand and talk to him for a minute, you'll come away with like, yep, that dude's real. He's a real guy. He's not. There's no pretentious fakeness.
All right. October 14th, 1957, Elvis
Wow.
Presley releases Jailhouse Rock.
Hi.
Jailhouse Rock came out this week.
20 years later, October 14th of 1977, Kiss releases Alive 2.
God of Thunder.
Kiss fans rejoice.
Wow, you went all show until now.
And Kiss fans rejoice. Well,
Guitar Hack's like, yes,
Guitar-
finally.
He just woke
lot.
up, I think.
Yeah, Alive 2 is heralded as probably a lot of Kiss fanatics' one of their favorite albums. So
I like Alive 1
What
better,
are we
but
doing?
that's because I'm older, and that's what made them when I was a kid. All right, who's
Squirrel.
next?
So in October 14th of 1988, B.B. King is presented with Lifetime Achievement Award at the
B.B. King, the great one.
Music of Black Origins Award in Royal Albert Hall in London.
In London,
So,
he got a big
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Wow.
In 1998.
B.B. King is at least 15 or 20% responsible for the British invasion.
B.B. King is a lot more responsible for the British invasion than that.
Well, I said 20% because there's probably like 4 other guys
Right.
besides
Well,
B.B.
yeah.
King.
Oh, true.
Right.
Okay. 25%. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. And then way back in 1946 on October 14th, Justin Hayward, guitarist of the Moody Blues, was born.
Also rocking the Gibson.
Also rocking the Gibson.
Moody Blues. This guy didn't get
And-
enough credit.
In 1959, on October 14th, A.J. Pero, drummer for Twisted Sister, is born
Twisted
Anthony
Sister.
in Staten Island, New York.
He's passed away, unfortunately, I believe.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Yeah, he passed
And-
away a couple years ago.
Moving on to October 15th, which is kind of a significant day in history, rock history anyway.
If you like Pink Floyd.
1975, Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here" was released in the UK.
In the UK. So that was the original release.
That was the original. That was the first release. Yes, that is correct.
Gotcha.
Also, 2 years earlier, October 15th, 1973, "Angie" by the Rolling Stones hits #1.
Number 1, and he wrote that about a girl. He changed the name because it was the girlfriend of one of his buddies. And I can't
Right.
remember which buddy it was now, but anyway, it's about a girl that he knew. Her name's
And
not
then-
Angie because he didn't want to get caught.
Right. And then in 1979, on October 2015, or on October 15th, in 1979, Led Zeppelin's "In Through the Outdoor" hits #1.
In Through the Outdoor. You know, there's like several different album covers for that.
Right.
It's all this guy playing cards, but it's just, or shuffling a deck of cards, but they're at different angles. Depends on when you bought the album, what cover you got.
And then, way back in in 2008, October 15th, Richard Wright of Pink Floyd breathed his final breath. He passed away from cancer.
Man, I bet he had to beat the chicks off with a stick. That's a good-looking man right there. Right?
Right. Yeah.
Rock star.
And way back October 15th in 1960,
Wow.
Ringo Starr.
This is a big day. Not so big for Pete Best, but big for Ringo.
Big for the music world because Ringo Starr replaced former drummer Pete Best, who was sick, and records with the Beatles this is the first time the foursome, John
Poor
Lennon,
Pete.
Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison recorded together.
Is there anybody in world history that got more left by the kick to the curb than Pete Best? Just
Poor guy.
right before they went, you're out.
And also on October 15th, Jimi Hendrix signs his first recording contract.
Look
in
at little Jimmy.
1965
Just a kid.
For a whopping sum of $1 plus 1% royalties.
Wow.
$1.01%. That's the worst contract in the
ever.
history of contracts. Not
Ever.
music contracts, like any contract ever. That's $1.01%.
And
Obviously,
also-
he had no agent. Because the agent's like, no. I need 20% just for me.
Also, October 15th, in 1968, the New Yardbirds now
The
became
new-
known as Led Zeppelin and play
Doesn't it-
their first show, and the venue is England's Surrey University. So
The New Yardbirds.
the New Year, October 15th, is a pretty significant day in rock history, guys.
Check them out, man. They were young.
They were.
Look at them.
Look at those four guys.
Damn. They tore the world a new one.
Yes, they did. Eventually. Took them a couple more years, but they definitely tore the world a new one. October 16th, 1965. It takes the Beatles all of 3 takes to record Day Tripper at Abbey Road Studio. Oh, man. And that is today, October 16th.
Bourbon's starting to kick in. It's getting late in the show.
After taking the world by storm, in 1972, CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival, decides to call it quits.
Unfortunately, his brother and the other 2 dudes were like, "You're getting all the attention." He's like, "Yeah, that's because I'm writing all the damn songs." And they're like, "Quit!"
Now,
They quit.
Now, the previous album, the previous 2 albums were actually collaborative efforts, and they bombed, basically. So it wasn't. John was trying. He was trying to let him, and they anyway. All water under the bridge, right? 1974, October 16th, Rolling Stones release It's Only Rock and Roll.
Oh, see, that's the one you got to cut out because it's later in the week.
Oh, sorry.
Scratch.
Oops, I scrapped. I biffed. My bad. Oh yeah, I see that. No, I biffed. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's still later in the week.
websites.
They just there was conflicting dates, and we had to narrow it down and discover the correct date. And Dave just forgot to
that's
take it
right.
off his list.
I forgot to take it off. Sorry, my bad. Still October 16th, 1991, the Red Hot Chili Peppers embark on their Blood Sugar Sex Magic tour with a new opening band called Pearl Jam.
That's a good tour. That's the only Peppers album that I own.
Right.
That's a kick-ass album. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
That was a great album. Yeah.
They had some good videos from that one on MTV too.
So we got a couple birthdays for today. Way back in 1947, Bob Weir, rhythm guitarist and vocals for the Grateful Dead, is born.
Yes. Great voice and great guitar player.
Absolutely. And in 1972, on October 16th, guitarist John Mayer was born.
What? Is that a PRS? But it's not a Silver Sky. Wait a minute. What?
Ooh, what?
What?
What? All right, moving along. Tomorrow, October 17th, the Rolling Stones released 12 by 5 in 1964.
God, they were young. I was born.
Yeah.
God, the Stones were already getting paid when I was born. I'm so old, and that makes them really freaking old.
Yeah,
Holy crap. How old? How is Keith Richards? Well, he'll never die. He's pickled. But how are the rest of them still
He's
alive?
preserved. So, moving along. October 17th, 1977, Leonard Skinner releases Street Survivors.
Oh, that's a killer album. Killer
Which-
album. Kind of prophetic with all the flames and everything too.
And by the way, that is the original album cover.
With the one
it
dude
was
that,
actually,
yeah.
It was actually changed. So
After.
Steve Gaines is there. Steve Gaines is in the middle there with the.
And he died in the
flames.
crash.
He did die.
yeah.
He did die. So if you look, Steve and Ronnie died in the crash. The rest of the guys survived. And there's only one survivor right now left, and that's Ronnie
Guitar player.
Gary Rossington, who is the
Yep.
second from the left. He
Yeah,
is
but
the
they
only-
changed. But what Dave,
Well-
what you were alluding to is after the plane crash, when these albums were pressed later, they changed the cover and took all the fire off the guys.
Right. They did. Artemis is still alive, and he is the second from the right. Art Pyle there, Artemis Pyle.
Yeah.
The guy
He's
with
the
the high
keyboard-
socks.
Piano player.
He was the drummer. No.
Oh, the drummer. I thought it was the-
Billy is all the way to the right. He's far
Yeah.
right. Billy Powell passed away several.
Oh, he
couple
died
years
ago, but he didn't die in the plane crash.
No, he did not.
No.
The only two that died in that picture that died in the plane crash is Ronnie Van Zant and Steve Gaines. Steve Gaines,
The two in the middle, in the
and
red
Ronnie
shirt.
Van Zant is
With the hat.
red shirt, and then Ronnie Van
Everybody
Zant
knows
is
Ronnie.
black shirt, black hat. Yeah,
Everybody knows Ronnie.
everybody knows Ronnie. So,
What a shame. What a shame.
and by the way, that's coming up. The plane crash happens next week. We'll discuss.
They didn't even want to get on that plane that night.
No, they didn't.
The plane had problems, and Ronnie's like, "We got a show to do. Get on the plane. You can't make it driving."
Ed King was in the band 1972 to about 1975.
Yes, and then he was out, and then he came back after.
He came back after for the reunion stuff. Yeah.
Right. He's still a current member.
No, Ed King passed away.
He died too, but he was a current member after. And there are other guitar players. There's another guitar player that's in the band now that was in the band. Ricky Medlock. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Well,
Moving on.
I could go on a 45-minute dissertation about Skinner.
Let's don't do that. We'll do that next week.
We can do that later. Yeah.
All right, moving on.
So, let's see. We're on. So in 1979, Fleetwood Mac released Tusk.
Yeah, and isn't that a weird album cover?
It is a weird album cover, but it was a really good album.
Yeah, kick-ass song too, man. I love
Really
that
good
song.
album.
Killer riff.
And in 1969, the third U.S. tour by Led Zeppelin opens up at Carnegie Hall.
Carnegie Hall, the boys.
Third U.S. tour.
Man. Nice.
EDS 1275.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Those are coming back around.
Yes, they are.
Trogley just bought one.
Yeah.
Trogley bought one from Sweetwater.
$12,500.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. He must have inherited a fortune.
And back in 1947,
Lenny!
Michael McCain, who played frontman David St. Hubbins in the fictional band Spinal Tap, was born in New York
David
City.
St. Hubbins.
Also known for his recurring role as wacky neighbor Lenny Kusnowski in
He's
the
Lenny.
Yep,
Which,
Lenny
for you
Kusnowski
young
came
people,
over
is
to
a
the
spin-off from Happy Days.
Yes, it was.
And where did they work? They worked in the beer. They worked in the beer
brewery.
beer brewery in Milwaukee.
Well, if you know the song, if you know the theme song, you know which brewery.
Right, because they talk about it.
The name is mentioned in the song.
And it's incorporated.
That's right.
Yep. Hot Shots and Pfeffer Incorporated. Yep.
All right.
All right.
Dude, that dude is funny.
Oh, he's a trip.
He's funny.
Yeah.
All right.
So, moving on. October 18th, the Rolling Stones release It's Only Rock and Roll.
It's only rock and roll, but I like it. Wow. They didn't make any money off of that.
And in 1963, after 20 months of being in prison, Chuck Berry is released in a free man.
They put Chuck in jail.
1963. But
what did Chuck go to jail for? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Did he tax? Was it tax evasion or something?
Probably something like that.
Chuck, you owe us money.
Which is significant because
Come on,
in
Crowbar.
1926, on the same
Crowbar
day,
knows.
Chuck Berry was born.
Oh, no way. The day he got out of prison? It was the same day he was born?
On his birthday, yes.
Talk about being reborn. He's like, I am free. doing the duck walk.
Doing the duck walk, that's it. And also, on October 18th, in 1941, bassist for Jimi Hendrix, Billy Cox, was born.
This dude played at Woodstock.
Yes, he did.
With Jimmy.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. He was born on that day.
Yep. And that brings us to a close on October 18th. And so October 19th, 1979, Prince, the artist's second album. Prince, yeah, it was released.
It was his second album, self-titled Prince. Sans shirt. It was originally going to be called Prince Without a Shirt, but they just shortened it to Prince.
Prince, right? Also on October 19th, back in 1966, the Yardbirds currently boasting...
Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page in the same damn band.
That's it. Yep.
At the same time for 2 shows, and then Jeff Beck quit.
But so the significance is October 19th, they started their first American tour in New York with both guitarists, Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page.
And Jeff Beck played 2 shows
gigs,
and then quit.
And then split.
And flew back to England. And you have to wonder, was it because, damn, all of a sudden I'm in a band with Jimmy Page and I got to be second guitar?
And in 1970, on October 29th, Mick Jagger stars in a Ned Kelly film.
Yeah, he was the character Ned Kelly.
Right.
Mick Jagger was Ned Kelly, gunfighter.
And
if you've seen the movie, he wears this like metal like helmet and body armor. It's dumber and
Bad.
it's the worst movie ever.
It's
the worst movie ever.
And on October 19th, 1948, Patrick Simmons, guitar and vocals of the Doobie Brothers, is born in Aberdeen, Washington.
Another great singer, guitarist that doesn't get it.
Sure.
You know, people don't know who he is.
Recognition.
You hear him on all the Doobie Brothers songs, but you don't know who he is.
Exactly.
It's just crazy.
Now his son is taking the reins over too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his son perform when they do perform. His son also performs with them as well.
Oh, nice.
And they
so
look
kind of like the John Fogerty.
Yeah, John Fogerty's rhythm guitar player is his son, and he's really good. I saw them
really
with
good,
ZZ Top recently. They were great. How about that? So that was a pretty good segment there, Dave. That was a good. I like the Rock History Weeks because, man, there is really some. Every week it seems a lot of significant stuff that we're, and as we get older, it's amazing. So good segment.
Thank you.
Good segment. All right,
I actually look forward to this to that segment every week. So
yeah,
I enjoy it.
Well, now it's time for a little comedy.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, he's like, oh no. So this one is called Billboard Surprise.
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
In the town of Auburn Hills, Michigan, which is home to approximately 22,000 people, and now one very infamous electronic billboard. This digital billboard right here that sits on the intersection of I-75 and the M59 interchange is operated by a desktop computer that sits below it in a control room. Housed inside the control room is all the controls for this, and they are able to, whatever is on the monitor is what's displayed up here on the billboard as you go down the interstate.
Oh no!
So two Mission Impossible teenage boys seen here on surveillance footage
It goes way wrong, Steve.
I love these kids. I love these boys. So you can obviously tell these are teenage boys, and they're all look. He's selfieing his ass as he's breaking in too. So on September 29th, just before 11 p.m., 2 individuals who appear to be teenage boys climbed the 6-foot fence surrounding said control booth, proceeded to break into the control booth and hack into the computer. Once these 2 Mission Impossible super spies gained access to the system, they did what literally any teenage boy would do. They threw up some Pornhub on the electronic freaking... Passing drivers passing drivers at 11 p.m. watched porn for 20 minutes.
I'll bet that caused some accidents.
Well, keep at least one hand on the wheel.
Cars are pulled over on the side of the road because they're like, I gotta see how this ends. I gotta see how this ends. Is this a happy ending?
Hopefully it didn't have a plot.
For 20 minutes. For 20 minutes. Porn played.
Crowbar. Lean on the horn while watching someone else ride the horn.
So for 20 minutes,
that's awesome.
20 minutes, porn played on the billboard until police finally arrived and were able to unplug because they couldn't shut it down. They unplugged it. thus ending all of the fun that took place in Auburn Hills on September the 29th. The suspects are still at large. We used to, like, this time of year, we would, like, throw corn at people's houses and, like, write stuff on their windows with soap. These guys put porn on the interstate.
Good on them.
Good on you. I love it. All right, you're up next, brother. Guess what? What time it is?
It is Sweet Child of Mine.
Sweet child. This is YouTube. This is so YouTube.
This is. So, as of today, Guns N' Roses is the first 80s music video to hit 1 billion plays on YouTube. And it is for the video Sweet Child of Mine.
1 billion views on YouTube. Do you realize how many subs the Guns N' Roses channel has? And they got 1 billion views. They don't need to even tour. They're just getting paid off of Vivo.
So,
I wonder if they get copyright strikes for that.
No, it's their channel.
Don't matter.
It's a billion. A billion views. A billion.
Video to hit a billion plays on YouTube. Guns N' Roses also holds a similar record with November Rain, which is the first ever music video on the platform to hit 1 billion plays.
If this video gets to 250, Dave and I'll be like, fucking A! A billion! A billion! Oh my God.
1 billion. Yeah.
1 billion. All right, moving on.
1 billion plays.
We are going to do a little game. Well, the game's going to be at the end, but I am going to list off the top 20 selling hard rock and metal albums in U.S. history. And some of you will be shocked. Shocked! Shocking!
And appalled, maybe.
Most definitely appalled. Definitely shocked. So, 20th all-time selling hard rock or metal album in U.S. history is the original Van Halen, released in 1978 with 10 million, just over 10 million albums. Number 19, also Van Halen, 1984, just over 10 million. Now, this is only U.S., it's not Canada, it's not Mexico, it's not Guatemala, it's not the UK.
It's definitely not the world.
It's not Honduras. This is the United States only list. Okay. Van Halen 1984, number 19. We start going sideways. Number 18. Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy, which is a dog.
Sadness.
Yes, which is odd. Very, very odd. Next is the first ever penis on an album cover.
Nirvana.
Never mind. 1991. Also in the upper 10 million bracket. Now this is when you're going to be like, no, this list cannot possibly be correct. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, on this list of the top 20 albums sold in the United States, hard rock or heavy metal, is Nickelback. All the right reasons from 2005.
They beat Van Halen.
Twice! Twice!
Head and shame. You Americans suck.
Twice!
I'm one of them. But anybody about this album, y'all suck.
Okay, I can get 1984 because it's got synthesizers, and when it came out, the purists like myself who were 14 in 1978 and went like, oh my God, what is this? And then we're like, might as well jump. We were like, okay.
But then you hear like Hot for Teacher in Panama and Drop Dead Legs and
But Nickelback! Nickelback! Okay, we're moving on.
Exactly.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Put Crowbar's comment up there.
Well, okay. It doesn't get
Decline
worse.
of Western civilization.
Exactly.
I take that back. It doesn't get worse. It just gets more weird. This is the low point.
Right.
This is the low water mark. Number 15. Lincoln friggin' Park.
That is definitely the low mark.
Hybrid Theory from the year 2000, almost 11 million albums sold in the United States of America.
Hack, we're not the only ones that beat up on that Canadian band. I think everybody beats up on that Canadian band.
Okay, we're not beating up on the Canadian band. We're just pointing out the fact that they somehow beat Van Halen number 1 in 1984. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Linkin Park. Oh, you think that's bad? Number 14. Who's buying the Green Day Dookie?
That's a great album, by the way.
Yeah, but it beat Van Halen like by a lot.
Well, that was all guitar work, man.
I know. Dookie.
That's probably in my opinion, that's their best album. But hey,
Okay. We talked about this earlier. This is about when you were a teenager, so I got to cut you a break. All right, moving along. Now we're starting.
You don't know better. What do you want?
Okay, things are starting to get more realistic as we move on towards the top 10. So number 13, Def Leppard, Pyromania.
Now we're talking. That was a good.
So
Yep.
this one is just this much under 11. So all those first 13 were all 10 million, between 10 and 11 million. They were all in below 11 million in sales. So they
were all really close.
Literally like 1,000 more people bought Green Day Dookie than bought like Van Halen, the original album. That's how close they were. So now things starting to get a little bit more
starting to
spread
get
out.
more disparaging. Yeah.
Yeah. So 13's Def Leppard, Pyromania. Number 12, Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. 11 million.
11
Now
million.
here's this one. This might shock you, although he's a pretty big act right now. Still might shock you. Beating out Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy is Kid Rock, Devil Without a Cause.
That's a little rough, man.
What?
Coming in at number 11, Kid Rock. Number 10.
Wait. Does anybody
Brad's
even
like, this isn't even possible.
Wait.
Oh,
That's not right.
No, there's no way. I don't know where you got that list.
This is totally legit.
Does anybody
this
here
list-
even own that? Does anybody here even own that album? Anybody
This
in the
list
chat?
comes from the website known as loudwire.com. And this
Getting
was
the figures from the RIAA. I'm sure.
The RIAA, which is the official source that tracks album sales, according to the website. So, Kid Rock is number 11, just under 12 million. Now we're moving on. Number 10, Creed, Human Clay, released in 1999. 11.9 million albums sold in the United States. Creed.
I got so sick of hearing their radio, their stuff on the radio. I hated Creed. I always thought Mark Tremonti was a great guitar player, but man, what was the guy sing? Who was the singer?
Speaking of which, he has a new PRS SE coming out that we looked at. Mark Tremonti has a new PRS SE coming out in 2020. All right, moving on. I noticed nobody went, "Oh my God, I can't wait for that guitar."
Yeah, no.
All right, moving on. Now we're moving into top. This is number 10. So now we're starting to get into some real music. Number 9. Led Zeppelin, number 2. 12. That Brad's digging for it. There we go.
There it
See
is.
how we
Hey,
full
there's the
circle.
original.
Just like
There it is.
just like an episode of Seinfeld, we always circle back.
Always bring it full circle.
1969, 12 million albums sold in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. What beat that? What could possibly beat that? Number 8, Hysteria, another British band. Personally, I like Pyromania better, but you got to admit, Hysteria was all over the radio.
MTV. Portion
Oh my
Sugar,
God.
That video was on like
Every 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds.
And you guys don't think MTV sold albums? Think again.
They sold a
MTV
shit
sold
ton of albums. Well, they sold CDs, is what they sold.
Yeah. Well, tapes and CDs. Yeah.
All right, now this next one is slightly controversial. Number 7 on the list. I'm not even sure this fits into hard rock or heavy metal, but it's number 7 on the list.
We'll throw it
Bon
in there.
Jovi,
Yeah.
Slippery. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse.
Don't quit your day job, Brian.
First off, you live in New Jersey, so you're probably not a fucking cowboy. I doubt you even know how to put a motorcycle into second gear. Number 6.
But I will say this: for Bon Jovi's cause, "Slippery When Wet" was their best album. It had the best. It had the biggest hits on it.
Yeah, probably.
I'll agree. I will agree to that. You notice how impressed that I am?
Hey, I'm just saying, man. I'm not asking you to be impressed. I'm just making the statement.
He's riding on a steel horse, cowboy
All right,
in New Jersey.
Moving
Okay,
along.
move along.
Number 6.
Number 6, Pearl Jam 10. Released in 1991. This album sold 13 million copies.
And in my opinion, that was also Pearl Jam's best album. Their next one was good too, but 10 was my favorite Pearl Jam.
Steel horse, you ride.
All right, number 5. Number 5 already.
Led Zeppelin,
Of the
Physical Graffiti.
Oh, Physical Graffiti. Yeah.
Oh, no, we took a big jump. We went 13 million. Then we went Led Zeppelin, number 5, 16 million.
So yeah,
That's a
we're
bit-
talking 4 and 5 aren't even close. They're not even in the same ballpark.
1975. Dave wasn't even born yet.
I was born in 1975.
What were you like? Still getting
No,
your
I
doctor's
was
change?
born in
Sure.
1975.
Oh, you were born in 1970.
Uh,
I was literally born. Okay. Number
Kid.
4.
I didn't pick when I was born. That's just when I happened to be popped out of mom.
None of us picked. Because,
Nope.
like, I missed the summer. I was 5 in the summer of 69. So all that orgy, missed the whole damn thing. So number 4.
I wasn't even a twins in daddy's pants.
Number 4, Metallica, also known as the Black Album. 16 million copies sold, 1991. Dave was definitely alive.
Yeah.
He's not a...
I'm
All right.
I'm a Metallica fan, but I'm like pre-and Justice fan. So
Yeah.
I'm like old Metallica fan. So.
We're at the 2-hour mark, so it's contest time. It's contest
Now,
time. We got 3 left.
Crowbar.
Crowbar, you cannot answer.
Please refrain, Krellbar.
Hold your water.
See if we can, please, guys, don't use Google. Please try and do this on your own.
Okay, so to win the prize, which is your choice of anything on the T-chip, so sweatshirt, coffee mug, you get what you want. I'm buying. You have to tell me in order. Oh, I just made it hard. Okay, I'm not even going to do order. No order. You have to just give me the top 3 all-time hard rock. I'm making it hard. You got to get 3 right. Hard rock or heavy metal albums sold in the United States
cheating.
of all time. No Google or Yahoo or Alexa. Come on, people.
If they don't know the answer already, then they don't know it. They're Googling.
So you get 1 minute. Go. I need
because we got like a 30-second delay running. So
any
we gotta
order.
get people-
Any order.
Yeah, I was
Top-
doing that one the heck.
Top 3 guesses. Any order. U.S. hard rock,
Oh,
heavy metal albums sold in history. Any
Mozzie
order.
says
Top
Kiss
3.
Mozzie says Kiss Alive 2, AC/DC
Nope.
Back in Black, and Appetite for Destruction.
I would say
Okay.
he's got 2 out of 3.
I would say you got 2 out. I would say there's
He's-
2 out of 3 in there.
He's got 2 out of 3, but that's his guess. So now he just gave
Yep.
2 hints to everybody else, but they don't know which 2.
So R2 says Blizzard as in Blizzard of Oz, Back in Black, and Appetite.
Good guess, not correct.
Good guess, not quite. Limp Bizkit $2 bill. No, I can tell you it is not Limp Bizkit.
Dark Side of the Moon is a negative. Ghost Rider, the pattern is full. Appetite, Back in Black, Dark Side is incorrect.
Incorrect.
Sabbath has to be in there. Incorrect.
Incorrect.
Come on.
I'll give it a couple more minutes because this is hard. I'm making them pick 3.
It is tough. It is
Because
tough,
I'm tired of
yeah.
giving, basically because I'm tired of giving shit away. If you want to do
Yeah.
it, I want.
I had 2. I had 2 of them. I'm pretty sure I know the third one, but
The first guess got 2 of the 3.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll leave.
Back
I'll
in
leave
Black.
I'll leave it. Appetite
Oregon
and
Steve,
Metallica.
Oregon Steve says Back in Black, Appetite, and Metallica, Justice for All. I will again say you got 2 of the 3.
Oh,
Three.
I
There we
see
go.
it.
We've got a winner.
Yep.
We have a winner! Jeff Miller, Led Zeppelin 4, Back in Black, and Appetite for Destruction. So, there we go. So, number
Congrats,
3, Guns N' Roses, Appetite
Hey.
for Destruction.
Hey Jeff.
8.
Hey Jeff. Hit up Brian on Facebook or email at
Or email the live
No, go ahead.
the Live Wire Show, all one word, the Live Wire Show at gmail.com, and we'll hook you up.
Yep.
So-
email him your preference, which shirt you want or whatever, and your address, so he can get that out to you.
Right. So the top 3 all-time hard rock or metal albums sold in the United States history. Number 3 is Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, 1987, 18 million copies. Number 2, Back in Black, released in 1980. Talk about a jump. 22 million copies. And number 1 all-time album sold in the United States of America, Led Zeppelin 4, 23 million copies. $1 million more than Back in Black, which is almost hard to believe because AC/DC are huge here, right? But it's still Led Zeppelin. Any way you slice it, it's still Led Zeppelin. Any way you slice it. So, thanks for playing. We have another winner.
Congrats,
Great answer.
Jeff.
That was
job,
not.
Jeff.
That was not an easy question.
No,
that
it
was
wasn't.
definitely a tough question. And man, we appreciate all you guys for joining in tonight. We got to get out of here. We're over 2 hours already.
Yeah.
And Brad Miller in the house. Thank you, Brad, for joining the show. We really appreciate you coming on. If you guys like the show, please like and subscribe. We appreciate that. If you'd like to get a cool t-shirt, go to T-Chip. They got some really cool deals there. And guess what we're doing next?
By the way, T-Chip is offering free shipping this week.
Oh,
on
free
anything.
shipping. You can get a really warm, nice hoodie for $30 with free shipping. You can't even get that at the freaking Walmart made in China. Can't get it. Get it from us, and then we'll get rid of the duck up there.
Not if you
Hey,
keep
Brad.
giving stuff away.
How about everybody? Big round of applause
hand
for
for
our
Brad.
guest tonight, Brad Miller, coming on here. Thank you, Brad. Great job. We really appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Really appreciate it. And guys, check
Okay.
out my last live stream. I asked a question about what guitar got away from you. I'd like to see everybody's answer to
Oh,
that.
that's good question.
So
We've all got one of those, right?
everybody's got one of those. So make sure you
Dave,
stop by
throw
and leave a
Brad's-
comment.
I just did.
I was gonna say throw Brad's link back up there, and obviously it'll be in the description after the show. And thanks everyone joining in tonight. Brad, you got anything you want to close the show out with?
No, that was it. Just stop by. I'm also going to put a link for the song that I played on the intro in there also, so you can download that song. And
Cool, man.
a little bit of 70s action going on there. So
I rock the 70s. 70s are good. What about you, Dave? You got anything you want to close the show out with?
No, just no. That I think we pretty much covered it all. Like I said, the free shipping on T-Chip this week.
Somebody go
save
buy
yourself a
that
few
freaking
bucks.
Charvel before I do.
Well, either that or that Model 6 before I do.
or that Firebird.
I don't know. I'm leaning towards that studio.
or that Les Paul studio. That Les
That
Paul
studio.
studio.
Dude, that
Ooh, that's a
studio,
swing.
that-
That's a swinging deal.
man.
That's a swinging deal.
especially with the BB1, BB2. And
Yeah.
that's a smoking deal.
Smoking.
Those things ship from the factory with 490R, 498T, which you guys know my feelings on the 490R, 498T. BB1, BB2. I mean, that's the same pickups that's in my traditional. That's the same pickups that Hack just spent about $500 Canadian on. I know that's like $350 US, but no, all joking aside, those pickups new. Even the Zebras go for about $350 or so a set. So that's a smoking deal, man. So
I'm gonna throw it out with it's not Nickelback's fault. Y'all bought their album.
yes, it is their fault because they put it out. And
It's not their
everybody decided
fault.
to buy it.
It's not their fault. You bought it. You paid money for it. Later on, Wire Nuts. Thanks
I
for
own it.
watching, everybody. Please
Take
like
care.
and subscribe. Episode 13, and we're closing in on Halloween. It could be spooky next week. I know who the guest is. It's a spooky guest. It's
do
gonna be
I.
great. All right,
great.
we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for joining in. We really appreciate you guys. We hope you had fun, and catch you next Wednesday. Thanks,
See you
Brad.
next Wednesday,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody. Peace.
Later.